This is Mike O'Donnell and we're here in the town park in Tralee for part 3 of the story of The Rose of Tralee, that great love story and tragedy of the servant girl who fell in love with the merchant prince, William Pembroke Mulchinock. And we are here in the town park in Tralee. In part 1 we discovered how the families lived in Tralee at the time, and William Pembroke Mulchinock, how he met his Rose of Tralee, Mary O'Connor, and we then travelled with him to India. And then in part 2 we discussed and we told you about his coming back to Tralee to find his love, Mary O'Connor, had died. And again I'm joined tonight by Emma Hussey, my own Rose of Tralee, who has helped me through the videos with the commentary, and Emma's going to join me shortly now as we discuss the modern day festival that was sprung out of the story of William Pembroke Mulchinock and Mary O'Connor, and we'll tell you about the modern festival. And if you visit the town park in Tralee, you will see written on the rose wall the story and the history of the Rose of Tralee, and all these roses who have been visited here in Tralee to take part in this wonderful international festival. All their names are written here, and that's the story. But we have relayed in part 1 and 2 the story of the love affair. Now we'll deal with the modern day festival and how it came about. We're starting part 3 at the statue of the depicting Mary O'Connor and William Pembroke Mulchinock. The statue, of course, was sculpted by the Leanne Reinhardt in her studio in Ballylickey in West Cork. And we're here in the town park in Tralee at the Rose Wall, which brings lots of visitors to Tralee in this part of the town park. Emma, would you like to tell us something about the start of the Rose of Tralee festival, please?
So the monument that stands here is a bronze sculpture commissioned by the Tralee Town Council to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the modern day festival. As Mike said, the statue was sculptured by the late Leanne Reinhardt in her studio in Ballylickey, County Cork, and cast in the Connolly Foundry in Kilbaha, County Clare. And the Rose Wall here, which was also commissioned by the Tralee Town Council, was unveiled by Tourism Minister at the time, Leo Varadkar, in 2013. It contains over 1,700 names of roses who took part in festivals and continues to add each year. It also celebrates the story of the festival in 4 languages and has the lyrics and music of the song The Rose of Tralee. And just to remind them again, Mike, the first verse of the song The Rose of Tralee: the pale moon was rising above the green mountain, the sun was declining beneath the blue sea, when I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful Vale of Tralee.
We are now in Castle Street in Tralee, outside a pub called Bailey's Corner, once the Hearty's Bar, where the idea for the Festival of Kerry began. At the time the Festival of Kerry idea came about, the bar was owned by Roger Hearty. It's now owned by Gary O'Donnell, well-known publican and town personality, and his staff are here preparing the bar for the reopening.
Okay. Right, will I just go straight?
Yeah.
Perfect. In and through the 1950s, a series of festivals were run throughout Ireland. The purpose of these festivals was to showcase Ireland, its language and its culture. It was an attempt to bring tourists to Ireland to celebrate these with us. If you like, this was the first product of a fledgling tourism business. Untostal was the festival's name, and it ran from 1953 up until 1958. To fill the void left by the winding up of Untostal, it was decided to run a carnival queen. The carnival had at its centre the choosing of a carnival queen from a selection of local girls. The following year, during
Emma, just to interrupt you there, the carnival queen that was chosen in 1958 was a girl by the name of Doreen Sheehy from Tralee. And Tralee people would consider her as being the first Rose of Tralee, even though the 1959 Rose was the first Rose of Tralee. Yes, indeed. Carry on, Emma. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, not at all. So the following year here in Harty's Bar, now known as Bailey's Corner, a group of local business people mooted the idea of starting a festival. They suggested that this festival would be in honour of the now famous song, The Rose of Tralee. Instead of a carnival queen, it was decided that they would choose a rose. At this period in time, the song had found world appeal. It had appeared in at least 6 Hollywood movies and been sung by the internationally known Count John McCormack. They would also broaden the scope and choose their roses from Irish centres around the globe. The idea was then to bring these young women to Tralee for a final to be held during the local horse race meeting in September 1959. As well as encouraging tourists to the town, the festival became a focus for the annual return of Tralee people who had left their native shores. The rose competition was open to all girls with ties to County Kerry to enter. The first Rose of Tralee was Alice O'Sullivan from County Dublin. This was later expanded to include young women who had connections to Ireland. Centres to pick these roses are now open all over the world, and today roses come from over 60 destinations. Today, the festival is an incredible tourism business and a global celebration of one's Irishness and young women from the 4 corners of the globe with Irish ancestry.
Emma and I are both here in Denny Street in Tralee in County Kerry, Ireland, where the heartbeat of the Rose of Tralee takes place for 1 week in each year. However, unfortunately this year, because of the COVID-19 virus, the festival has been postponed. It's first time being postponed since it started in 1959. Despite adverse weather conditions some years, the festival always went ahead. And we here in front of the museum and the Ash Memorial Hall in Tralee and the Kerry County Museum, the steps of this are transformed into a gigantic stage that when the roses come to Tralee, they're introduced for the first time to the crowds of well-wishers that gather on the streets. And as I have often said, I'm the past. At my age, I'm the past of the Festival of Kerry, of the story of the Rose of Tralee. Emma Hussey, who is with me and who helped me out in the commentary, is the future. We're leaving the story of the love affair between William Pembroke Mulchnock and Mary O'Connor in good hands with Emma. Emma, what are your thoughts on the Festival of Kerry?
Well, I suppose to start, the festival has always been something I loved and adored, from watching it on TV to the entertainment on the streets. It has always been this wonderful occasion for me, and I believe so many, to mark the end of the summer. I've countless number of journals filled with rose signatures, and my family and I hold this spot just outside the Blasket where we watch the Saturday night parade every single year. So in fact, I'm pretty sure I've probably attended every festival in my 17 years, apart from this year of course. And growing up in Tralee, I think it has made me realise that the festival really does hold so many memories and so much nostalgia with people in Tralee, Kerry, Ireland and all over the world. I suppose so then in recent years I really gained a grow and a passion for the festival, and I believe this probably started in 2014 when Maria Walsh became the Rose of Tralee. Maria was just so different to any rose I'd seen before, and I think it was her differences, her short hair, her tattoos, the fact her dress didn't reach the floor, that made her so normal and relatable. And it just displayed the fact that, and it was the time I began to notice how influential the festival really was and how unique and special what the festival stands for is. So then I suppose it made me know that the Rose of Tralee is a celebration of women, their lives, their individuality, their stories, their gifts and their talents. We live in a time when the empowerment of women and women's rights is so strong, such a growing effort, but it's not fully met. However, the festival has celebrated women for almost 61 years now. The festival began in a time when a woman's place was predominantly in the home. The Rose put women on a stage, gave them a voice and celebrated who they are and their differences. As well as that, it's a wonderful celebration of Irishness. In Ireland, I think we've always had this sense of pride in where we come from and who we are. And just the fact that there's over 80 million Irish in the world, making the Irish diaspora one of the largest of any nation. The Rose of Tralee draws women from around the world back to their native country to celebrate their ancestry, heritage and roots. I believe it's just incredible. Also, the Rose is a great tourism business, bringing thousands to the year on year, bringing them to the town. And I've seen this firsthand with the festival, with both my parents having business backgrounds and running their own local businesses here in Tralee. It's clear that the Rose is the town's busiest time by far, and I think it's amazing how one organisation can do so much for an area. Finally, it has this incredible history and a beautiful story that we've been speaking about over the last couple of nights, and I think it's just wonderful how such a lovely story can just grow into this festival that celebrates and embodies so much. So I would just like to thank you, Mike, for allowing me to, I suppose, be part of telling the story and share my love for the festival.
Thank you, Emma. I was delighted to be
so
part
much
of your celebration of the Festival of Kerry.
Would you like to share some of your memories?
Well, my memories are more basic than yours, and Emma. I remember the fun we had, and I've only missed ever one being in town for one festival, and that was the year I had an accident and I spent the festival in the Bonscore Hospital in Tralee with my leg in a cast hanging off a ceiling, my leg that is. And that was the only festival I ever missed. And my friend Sean Collins from Cahill's Park in Tralee came up to my bedroom in the Bonds every evening and told me of the goings on in the town. And I've never missed being in Tralee for the festival. Now for the past few years I haven't ventured out much for festivals because I don't have the energy anymore. But I remember here in front of the Ash Hall when the festival, I don't know whether it was the selection of the Roses or the Roses coming to town, went out on television live for 1 hour, and when the interval of they introduced the first number of Roses, then while the ads were going on television, there was a motorbike act here right where you see the cars going around the corner, and as stewards working under the stewardship of Paddy Mercer, who was in charge of all the stewarding, and the stewards, the young stewards like myself at 16, 17 years of age, Paddy Mercer was very involved in the Festival of Kerry, and he organised us all. We had to run out then before the cameras were switched on again after the ads were over and clean up the street. And there's memories like that I have of the town and of the festival. And there are those who perceive the festival to be nothing but drink. Well, I never drank, Emma, and I really enjoyed every festival that I was part of. And coming down here brings back wonderful memories for me of all that enjoyment we had. And we'll just finish now in the town park again, Emma, before we wind up our part 3 of the story of the Rose of Tralee. We're finishing our tour here and again back in the town park in Tralee, where people gather to relax and chat and sit at the foot of Mary O'Connor and Willem Pembroke Mulchnock and the Rose Wall, which no, they're getting excited now because we're making a movie of them, but that's what the town park in Tralee provides, a tranquil setting for everybody's story. And we leave you now with the Rose Wall and Mary O'Connor and Willem Pembroke Mulchnock. We hope you have enjoyed the story of the Rose of Tralee. Part 1, 2 and 3 can be seen on YouTube, where Emma and I will direct you through the story of the Rose of Tralee. And we'll just leave the last word to Emma before we leave this lovely place.
Well, over 60 years later, the festival still celebrates a love story to rival any of the great love stories. Anthony and Cleopatra, Helen of Troy and Paris, even Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. The story we celebrate is a tragedy as epic as any Shakespearean tragedy. That is the love of William Pembroke Mulchnock and the servant girl Mary O'Connor, who stole his heart and inspired the words The Rose of Tralee. We hope that you'll join us in 2021 for the 61st festival, where hopefully we'll all be safe and it'll go ahead, and hopefully you can join us on one of our tours then, where we can meet you all live in person.
And thank you all, and come to Tralee to see us.
Thank you.